Alec, what's going on?
I'm drinking a delicious seasonal winter warmer beer from a local brewing company, and it's very good.
Hmm.
It's Thanksgiving Day, and it was a good had a good dinner. No, it wasn't lunch. It was like 3 o'clock. So whatever it was good. It was delicious.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
didn't do any Thanksgiving today, so I'll be doing that in a couple of days. But we've come to the end of almost, well, kind of the end of the road. We'll come
Mm.
back a week from now and talk about it all again, but this is the last step in what has been a month's, several month journey here through Survivor Pearl Islands.
Indeed,
All right.
indeed.
In case you don't know, I'm a big Survivor fan. I'm taking my friend here, Alec, on a journey through all of Survivor chronologically ever since the first season. And we're up to the end of the seventh season now. And oof, what happened
Amazing.
last time?
Last time, another action-packed episode. The girls finally took charge. Uh,
Yes.
they finally turned the tables on John and Burton, who seemed like they were just kind of controlling everything for the last few episodes, to a point anyway. And yeah, I mean they were just pretty acting pretty cocky the entire episode, and it was kind of led to the downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And so Burton was voted out,
mm-hmm.
which leaves us with through your power rankings for the final four. Even though final four can get a little hectic,
Yeah,
your power rankings were Sandra, Dara, John, Lil. That's our
mm-hmm.
final four,
It is.
and we're gonna come out. We're gonna go in with four and come out with one, the winner. And
Gonna have to see what happens.
so we'll
It's
get
very exciting, very exciting.
we'll get a couple of votes. We'll get the final tribal council. We'll get all the jury members back to question them, whatever they want to do. That'll be
We're
great.
Yeah, we're gonna have Rupert probably wax eloquent, and I can't wait for it because I love
you,
that
you
man
think?
to death.
Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't disappoint. Rhino will come out with the most grueling jury speech.
I mean, he's probably just gonna ask like, "Do you remember anything I said? Do you remember this one specific thing I did, or tell me this one thing about myself?" And then
Yeah.
they mention it's like, you worked at a grocery store with produce, right?"
Who's yeah? Who's a political figure you look up to?
Yeah, what? What a dumb question.
So I need someone I can relate to. Yeah, that was Dave. Dave, who was the first member of the Amazon jury, asked something like that, where it was
Yeah, it
like,
was like,
"Who's a public figure that I can like relate your game to? Someone you
it
you
was like,
aspire or look up to be, or something
what?
like
It was
a
kind of like a
president,
what?
like a political figure."
It's like so silly.
And then I
Like,
forget what the answers were. Matt had a really like weird answer, but I can't
yeah,
remember.
it was kind of like, well, I think it should be.
And Jenna was like, I
Remember?
don't think I really have anybody, but I forget who she said. She said something.
Yeah, I don't remember. I feel like she was like, I don't really follow like politics,
Uh,
so I don't really know what you're talking. Yeah.
All right, so if you want to watch the highlights of the reaction, which will be longer than usual, you can do that by clicking the link in the description and come back for the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will also have the reunion episode soon after this one. Maybe like the same day, maybe the next day, something like that.
Yeah. So it's
And
just a little quick little reaction that we
quick little
usually do.
thing.
But, yep.
All right, but there'll be a lot to unpack for the
Mm-hmm.
finale. All right.
So much, so much.
All right. See you then. Alec, there you have it. Winner of Survivor Pearl Island, Sandra.
Go Sandra.
Sandra.
Go Sandra. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look.
So,
So how are you feeling?
I think the right person won. I think I'm surprised. I'm surprised Lil went with Sandra. So I think it's difficult to say. I feel like she may have had a better chance, probably had a better chance with John. We don't know the total final vote count. I have a feeling it was 6-1 though.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they would have shown more Lil votes if she had.
yeah, I feel like anyway, just the odds would say that, but I think it was six. It ended up being 6-1. So especially I was feeling that way, especially after the questions, which
Yeah.
weren't the most fiery questions, but it kind of showed that Lil basically didn't have a leg to stand on
Yeah,
in
like
terms of like how she got there and everything. So
most of the people presented the questions in a way that seemed to be favoring Sandra, and even
yeah,
after she answered, they just weren't. They were always more. They liked Sandra's answers more clearly.
yeah,
It
yeah,
seemed.
yeah.
It's
So
something I think is pretty similar to the end of the Amazon, in that Johnny Fairplay is in the Rob
yeah,
Sesternino position as the
yeah,
guy who's strategizing, hustling till the end, but he gets cut at final three, and
mm,
then you have, except this time it's almost as if Matt won immunity and took Jenna,
yeah,
even though it was the other way around before, because like Lil was the Matt position basically,
yeah.
where like again it's like the same exact vote, it's 6-1, like it's like the more under the radar, even though Sandra was more in your face, obviously, like she was
Yeah.
more willing
But
to be confrontational and stuff, but she was just never a target.
she was never a target. She never did anything egregious. She was playing the game clearly, but she wasn't actively like super scheming, and she wasn't scheming in a way to like piss people off. A
Mm.
lot of her alliances stayed mostly the same throughout the whole thing, and it was just kind of jockeying for position in those kind of alliances to sort of figure out like what's the way we can kind of turn the advantage on our side. There wasn't any active wheeling and dealing like John for the most part. So it was yeah.
Based on how the jury received them, it really feels like John could have won against Lil. Like,
John might have had a chance.
and
Yeah.
and it wasn't just like, I don't know. We don't know what they were thinking of John. Like, I imagine him against Sandra wouldn't have been in his favor,
Yeah, maybe not.
but because
I
he's
think he
still,
would have preferred. Yeah, I think he definitely would have preferred Lil.
yeah, he would have taken Lil for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and I think he could have won that based on this. Now it just seems like they didn't really respect her at all,
Yeah.
and like she did get voted out. It's an unavoidable fact.
Yeah, it was kind of she's the sweet old lady, right? But that she
Yeah,
is
but
very unlike Survivor Outback, where the sweet older lady is the one that ended up winning. But in the end, she didn't really ever ride. It's hard to say that she ever rode coattails though. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Tina.
Tina, because I was under the impression that she was still playing the game pretty hard. Lil, I was always under the impression that she was just sort of hiding around people. She acted sweet because that's probably just how she is. But yeah, I mean, there was a little like maybe it was forced upon her in some sense that she was always going to be referring to the scout stuff because she had a uniform on. But I feel like that rubbed people the wrong way a lot of the time because if she had been saying all those things and wasn't wearing a scout uniform, then people might have been bothered by it. But I don't know if it would have necessarily made as much of an impact. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But like the fact that she kept pointing it out, she would always make reference to it. So the fact that she's wearing the uniform didn't matter. If she didn't continue to bring it up, I feel like people wouldn't have like thought twice about that sort of thing. And that seemed to be like a pretty common thread in most people's thing. It's like you always bring up the scouts, is it that type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So
And there was this narrative that was going into this episode that all the players were talking about, where if Lil makes it to the end, she'll win because she's nice, and
yeah,
she'll win easily. But it's hard to tell if that was a narrative that they actually believed, or if they were just saying it because they knew it would benefit them. You would, so that other people would vote out
maybe.
Lil.
So it's like a mind game thing. Like
Yeah, like it could definitely be Johnny Fairplay kind of thing to do. It'd be like, I
yeah,
mean, even in the beginning of this episode, he was sowing the seeds of
yeah,
Lil against Dara for that reason.
yeah,
But you have to think that someone that strategic as Johnny doesn't believe that I have no chance if I make it to the end. And
Yeah,
that's
no, I
just
think he had to have had a chance. Yeah, he had to have believed that he actually had a chance.
that's
Yeah,
just like how you have to present yourself if you're in that
yeah.
position.
I mean, and that's the thing. That was why he was trying to make that deal with Lil, because he's like, look, you do this, and I bring you to the final two,
Hmm.
and yeah,
I mean, okay,
so
so the power rankings coming into this had Sandra, Dara, John, Lil. So Sandra, came out on top.
yeah,
Um, Lil, I mean, it's pretty accurate because it seems like if she made it to the end, regardless how she made it to the end, she would have
yeah,
lost to
yeah,
whoever was there. So it's like a kind of unexciting end in that Lil is almost like whoever's next to Lil wins, but
yeah,
it was still it was satisfying to see Sandra win. I think.
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
obviously this season would be like, oof, it would be a rough pill to swallow if Lil won.
Yeah, that would
It's
be pretty. That would be pretty rough pill to swallow.
like
That's for
even
sure.
even
Yeah,
more rough than Jenna winning. It's like
yeah, because like
she
Jenna
actually
was.
got voted out.
Yeah, she got voted out a while ago. That would have been yeah. That's what we've talked about. I mean, I've constantly brought it up. Is that at least I'm not too keen on that plot device, despite it being an interesting wrinkle and an interesting. It definitely added some levels and layers to the season. Um, it definitely shook things up, made it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, just again as a sort of a metagame sort of sense, it kind of sucks in a way, like because it doesn't feel fair in some instance because they were voted out once,
Hmm.
and then we had somebody who had been voted out
And it's
made it to the final two.
at the same time, it's not like they were doomed just for the fact they were voted out. Like I think if Burton made it to the end, he would have had
Yeah,
a shot for sure
yeah, that's true.
because he was just playing a better, more well-rounded game. But
Hmm.
um, it's it's interesting. I don't think you'd ever expect on episode 3 or whatever when Lil gets voted out. I don't think you would expect her to
Lil to be
win
in the
to be
final
in the
two.
final two.
Yeah, well, no, never.
It's really a curveball.
Yeah,
So it was so like because I hadn't seen the season before, but I knew that Lil was in the final two. Like I knew the final two, so
yeah,
when she got voted out, like episode 3 or whatever,
yeah.
I'm like, oh okay. And then I didn't know how that whole Outcast twist worked exactly. 'Cause
Yeah,
knew
I was
Burton
almost.
and Lil were close to the end at least.
It almost seemed to me that like it almost seemed to me when they were first introduced that I almost thought it was like, so are we actually gonna have like a third tribe for like a little while?
Yeah,
Because that would have been interesting. I feel like instead of just automatically throwing them into there, but it's like no, we have a third tribe that's competing now. That would have been kind of interesting, but that didn't end up being the case. So
no, they voted in
yeah,
Burton and Lil, and then but they both
which
made
probably
deep
ended up
runs.
working. Which probably yeah, they did. Which probably ended up working better, honestly. The fact that they voted them in, because like you wouldn't want. It would have been felt weird if like all of a sudden like they started winning every challenge and like
Yeah.
and it's like all of them are in the
It just
end, you know, and
it does like me. Yeah.
they just decimate the competition. Yeah, it'd be so bizarre. So
Yeah. Um, anything else worth noting? The whole well, in the beginning they had the whole players versus the jury immunity challenge
which
thing
was
where
like
the jury won the trivia contest, which allowed them for no one to win immunity in the
which
game.
was that was kind of weird and also pointless because they basically already decided who was going home.
Well,
I think in a
if
different scenario that would have been more interesting.
yeah, but if Dara had won that, she wouldn't have gone home.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
That's
guess
a
that's
big
true.
difference. Like,
No, I guess that is
like
no,
she
it is
could
a
win
big
that balancing competition.
no, it's true, but like it was also completely unfair and 100% rigged in the jury's
I
like
know.
favor.
Well, that's
So
what
it
I'm saying
was
because I think Dara had like the next highest amount, maybe tied with John or something. But if she wins that, she has to squat off against Lil.
yeah,
She could squat off against Lil and potentially
maybe.
win and get herself to the final two.
And then win. Yeah, it's true.
Maybe.
It's true.
She might have taken Sandra though and then lost to her too. It would be interesting to see that reality, but that was a cool
Yeah.
like challenge how they edited everything. It was real
Oh
dramatic.
yeah, they did a really good job with that, I think. It didn't feel too drawn out. Which sometimes when those ones that last like 2.5, 3 hours. Sometimes they draw it out, but it was like no, it was like short, succinct, and it was very good. Like really, yeah, tight editing, really good stuff
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
So then Lil votes out John, which is really interesting to look back, like in retrospect. Like she's literally deciding the winner with who she votes out there,
Yeah,
potentially.
potentially, yeah,
Like,
I think so.
and the rationale makes sense. That's why it's kind of dangerous to have a player like for John to have a player like Lil at the end there, because she might end up with an emotional decision like that and be like, well, Sandra's a mother and a wife, so I'd rather see her win money than John. So then it's like you're in a really risky position where
Mm.
I guess he was just banking on Lil not winning the competition there. And
Yeah,
Sandra,
seemed that way. Yeah,
like again, I don't know how much Sandra believed if Lil was in the final two, she would win. Because like, would Sandra have taken Lil to the end? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say again because yeah, it's difficult to say. But remember, she seemed to think that she was what was it? She seemed to think she was going home in the same time that
Yeah,
Dara thought she was going home, or Lil. I'm trying to.
well, she also thought she was going home in that last vote. She thought she was going to vote her out,
Yeah,
never Johnny. So
yeah.
it's
I
interesting.
guess which is true. I suppose. Yeah, I suppose her thinking that is like, well, she would think that she has a better chance of winning if she's against John. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting
So do
for
you have
sure.
like a favorite jury question? Did we talk about that already?
We didn't really talk about the jury questions very much. We just sort of mentioned them. I mean, Rupert was the best. I think personally, because his were both very directed towards both of the contestants, and it was like,
Personalized.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Lil, you lied to me, like, and so you need to tell me like what was honest about the stuff that we talked about. And Sandra, in that final vote, did you know I was going home?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like both of those were like both like super personal, really hard hitting. I thought anyway. I think those were both like really good things. So those were like very distinct moments for Rupert towards the end
Mm-hmm.
of his time there. Rhino actually has surprisingly good questions. It was like, Lil, is it fair to let you win if you were already voted out once? And then Sandra was like, were you actually playing the game or are you just riding coattails on people? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair questions.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest criticisms of their game for sure, because
And then John with like the most serious question probably. How well did you represent Puerto Rico? How well do you feel that you represented the Scouts even though you lied and cheated and such?
very
So it
strangely.
was bizarre how like serious they.
He
I'm sure
went
it's
from
because
wacky. He went from being really wacky to doing that.
yeah,
He said he asked Jeff, "Can I vote for none of the above?" He
yeah.
said in the confessional before, like earlier in the
Okay.
episode, that neither of these people deserve it. I played the best game. I feel like
Yeah,
I should be there.
yeah,
So it's rough, but
yeah. He also said, "I'm gonna have fun at trial." He did look like he was having a lot of fun during that
he was
trial
like
because he was
giggling because he
laughing
was
the
right
entire
next to
time.
Burton. They were just like their little like two kids in class,
I
like
know they
joking.
was like they were just joking around. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Because like whenever Lil would make like this emotional response or whatever, he was just laughing about it.
Yeah,
That's just the perception of Lil, I guess, is that
yeah.
ultimately not just a nice woman, but just like, oh,
She's
she's
just
a bit of
she's
a
just a
mess.
yeah. I guess so. Well, they know they was it Andrew that said that one time? She's just a mess. Someone said that. There was another episode. I wrote that down somewhere. Lil is just a mess.
So
Oh, no, it
yeah,
was Burton said that. Burton said that about
yeah,
something.
that's
Lil is
true.
just a mess. I
That
said
was
that
on the
during one
episode that
thing.
Burton ended up getting voted out. I think.
I
So
think
that.
so. Oh, Lil. No, it was Lil is a disaster.
He's a
It was
disaster.
Lil is a disaster.
Yeah. Such a dangerous kind of player to bring to the end. She
Yeah.
literally held all the power right at the end there.
Lil is a disaster.
All
That's
right.
great.
Well, thank you for watching. We'll have the reunion soon.
Yeah, what a fun season. Yeah, I think it sort of sort of victim a little bit to the Amazon, where it was like such an amazing season, and then it sort of was like, oh well, it was okay, I guess, in the end. But it's like I'm satisfied with the ending. The conclusion was the right person
Love
won. So
Sandra. I mean,
I do love Sandra. I've liked her since day one.
she's not like
So
as flashy as Johnny Fairplay, but
mhm.
she definitely was entertaining and she
Mm.
played.
John's an ass.
Look, Sandra never got votes against her.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
there with
No,
the
ever.
likes of Brian and
That's weird. That's so weird that.
Ethan and Tina. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah. I don't
all of
think Tina
them.
ever voted
I
against
think
them.
all
Yeah.
three of them are the ones that have never been voted.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
an elite class to join.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you were to recommend a video for our viewers to watch after watching this one, what would you recommend?
You should go watch our finale of the finale for the Amazon. We've referenced it a few times here. I feel like we do a good job sort of summing up the episode, and that one definitely had a lot of fun throughout that season. And I think the finale was, well, albeit I think we were not like let down, but like it's like it's hard to like cap off an ending to like an almost perfect season. So
Mm-hmm.
it's um, just in terms of the general flow. Not that everything that happened was perfect, but yeah. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Check our reaction for the finale for Amazon.
The crowning of a young Jenna Maraska, the sex
Mm-hmm.
goddess Jenna, and now we have
She's a babe.
our Puerto Rican
Absolutely.
queen
Mm.
Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
Long may she reign.
Long may she reign.
All right, so subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, and follow us on Twitter at Tarqaron TWO. All right, thank you. Oh, there's the F. There's the Y. All right.